So out of my own experience, I put this definition of quality again in the mathematical formulation. So quality measured in terms of my effectiveness. What is the outcome I can able to produce that? So I put it in mathematical equation. It is the ratio between what is maximum possible for me, but to what I actually did. So for example, this session is so what is the quality of my my quality I can measure. For example, this session starts by 13 hours, right? What is the maximum possible for me to join this session? I can able to join 10 minutes before, I can able to join 5 minutes before, I can able to join exactly on time, I can able to join on 5 minutes later also. So what is the maximum possible for me? I can able to join 5 minutes before, but what time exactly I joined this conversation? So I joined 2 minutes before, yes, which means that the effectiveness is more than 100%. I joined exactly on time, so my effectiveness is 100%. I joined 5 minutes late, my effectiveness is less than 100%. So the quality of an individual's can be measured two ways. One is based upon the activity. So for example, if I come to the college, suppose college starts by 9 a.m. So in a month, 30 days, how many days I am coming to the college before 9 a.m.? How many days I am coming to the college exactly 9 a.m.? How many days I come after 9 a.m. in over the period of 30 days? Then you measure that what is your effectiveness for particular activities, right? Out of 30 days, 20 days I have my effectiveness more than 100%, and 3 days, yes, my effectiveness exactly 100%, and 2 days, yes, my effectiveness less than 100%. So this is one way any individuals can measure their quality. This is one way. Second thing is when coming to the college, I have, for example, 10 activities today I have to complete it. So every day. So the activities may be different. Today I have 10 different activities. Tomorrow I have 10 different activities. So out of 10 activities today, how many activities my effectiveness is more than 100%? Out of 10 activities today, how many activities I have 100% exactly? How many activities less than 100% my effectiveness for every day? So this also you can measure. So every day how many activities are there, what is my effectiveness? So there are two ways you can able to measure. So if you want to improve the quality of education, this is the first point. The quality of education will be start at the improving the quality of individual teachers. So quality of the institution department always start with that the effectiveness or outcome of individual faculty delivered on individual activity as well as on every day. So why I'm talking about connecting with this competency, that so if you want to improve the competency, we are then only the quality of education will improve on that, right? Now if any of the activities, uh, yeah, so competency also result in increased quality of the work or performance, right? In turn, the work and performance will produce more satisfying and favorable results like parties like are every stakeholders on that. So the competency of every work is very, very important in that sense, right? So competency can also apply to the improvement or development of one's ability and skills, benefit of the institution, benefit of the individuals, right? So competencies the is the ability along with the desire to get the job done. That's very, very important that. So do you have the desire to get the job done, to complete the job? That's very, very important. That's right. So competency is acquired through what is learned by the learner rather than what is taught to the learner. That's very, very important that. So unless an individuals realize that yes, I want to improve my competency and these are the activities, that's if you realize that the personal development growth will be very fast, very lean, exponential. Instead of other people want to say what is that competency you want to improve upon that, right? So the professionals develop their competency through the education, this kind of conferences, training programs, through all these things people able to develop on that, right? So this discussion also one type of improving the competency. So when coming to the teachers competency, there are, we can see that the curriculum development, teaching competencies, the curriculum development is one of the important competency every teacher has to develop. Course delivery, professional competence, and how student has to be engaged, actively engaged, actively engaged. So that is these are the four important competencies every teacher has to improve upon that. And next coming to this is the first one, we call it as this competency. Next one is the build strength. So, how do you define strength? Consistently near perfect performance in any activity we call the strength. So, if you repeatedly do the same activity, say every time you do that, every time you are doing this near perfect performance of the expected level of performance, those activities are about your strengths. Just think about that any activity. I'm just talking about that. It is, I told you that when you're talking about the talent, I told you that which is the activity your subconscious mind is longing to repeat that. So now you connect with that. The any activity consistently, if you perform near performance, near perfect performance repeatedly, any number of times, if you repeat that, those activities we call it as the strength. So to build the strength, the competency is the first level, first basic requirement is there, right? And what is the acid test of a strength? How do you identify my strength? That so the ability is a strength only if you can fathom yourself doing it repeatedly, happily, and successfully without anybody's instruction. That's very important. That so just find out that if any activity you repeatedly, whenever you do, you are doing very happily, and whenever you do every time successfully without anybody's instruction, those activities are we call it as the strength of. So when we're talking about what is your strength and weakness, this is the way you have to analyze yourself, self-analysis. Then you have to find out if anybody asks what is your strength, you have to list out that. So effective communication is my strength, effective presentation is my strength. So like this you have to list out if anybody asks what is your strength. Not only this, it is your responsibility to identify what is your students strength. So you have to closely watch your students. You have to closely identify the individual student's strength, and it is your responsibility to tell them, every students, that yes, I have over the period of when I teach the course, particular course to you, I have observed these are the strength too. You just tell them, you communicate to them, this is the strength of the student. They'll be very happy on that. So every time, next time the students are working on that, definitely they will strengthen their strength. Every time they work on the strength, strengthen the strength, right? So for an activity to be a strength, you must be able to do it consistently. So like a practice, deliberate practice, consistently you have to do is that implies that the whenever you do that predictable part of your performance, right? You can demonstrate time and time again. You must also derive some intrinsic satisfaction from the activity. That is your strength, right? Now coming to the weakness. When people asking talking about the weakness, how do you say that weakness? That you can able to identify some of the activities you may find it very difficult, whereas some other your colleagues maybe find it effortlessly, they can able to do those activities. So the activities which I find it difficult to accomplish, those activities we call it as a weakness. A weakness is related to the role, not to individuals. Weakness related to the role. What is the role you are playing, not the individuals, right? Now if you're able to identify a weakness means according to this particular role I am not able to perform well. Okay, if I am not able to perform well according to this particular role, then I have to identify, go back to this competency, what are the attributes of competency, whether I have the lack of knowledge, whether I have lack of skills, whether I have lack of talent, whether I have the fixed mindset, whether I don't have the attitude, whether I don't have the right, whether I don't use the right kind of technology. You have to do self analysis. If you know this weakness, which some activity I am not able to perform just because of lack of practice, if you practice more number of hours, definitely any weakness can be converted into strength. If you say some weakness related to this particular activity because of due to lack of knowledge, you can gain the knowledge, you can convert your weakness into strength. If you say that I'm not, I have not used the right kind of technology, because of that I am not able to complete this particular task. So change the technology, you can change your weakness into strength. Then I have the, if you're able to identify because of my fixed mindset I'm not able to perform this activity, you can change your mindset from fixed to growth mindset. You can change weakness into strength. So any weakness you can able to change, so no problem at all. So not only for yours, please help the students to change their weakness into strength. That's very, very important. That it is our basic responsibility to identify the every student's strength and weakness, and we need to help the every students to change their weakness into strength. That's very important. That so okay. So coming to the next highest level of personal mastery. So it's a process of continuously focusing and refocusing, renewing our focusing on what we want truly. That's very, very important. So what do you want truly on that? For every activity, you do that. If you go to the inside the classroom, you teach this particular course to the students. What do you want actually want? So what is your vision you want to achieve with that? Truly you want. Though if you have the clarity on that, definitely you can able to achieve on that. That we call it as the personal mastery. So continuously focusing, refocusing, and refocusing, which is important for you for next 1 hour, that we call it as the personal mastery. If you're able to focus, refocus, renew your focus, which is important for next 1 hour, every 1 hour, then you are going towards this attaining your personal mastery, right? Then personal mastery goes beyond the competence, beyond the strength. Okay, but it's always grounded in the components of the competence in terms of knowledge, skill, talent, technology, attitude, mindset. Right? So personal mastery goes beyond the competency, but under grounded in the attributes of the competencies. Right? That's very, very important. That's why we started with this what is knowledge, skill, talent, all these things. Now we want to do that personal mastery. So the ability to focus on ultimate intrinsic desire. So we have two types of desires. We have only the extrinsic desire and the intrinsic desire. Intrinsic desires, our subconscious mind always, our conscious mind is always stays that this is what I want to achieve. This is what I want to contribute to my students. So that we call it as this. So we need to always focus on this intrinsic desire. And if you have that intrinsic desire, and if you travel to reach that intrinsic desire, then you are having the personal mastery, you are going towards this personal mastery, achieving the personal mastery in that. So personal mastery suggests that there are a special level of proficiency in every aspect of life, personal and professional. That's very, very is very natural. If you start working on it, definitely you can able to find even your personal life as well as in your professional life. So the first, there are two levels of in the personal mastery. You can able to say that the first is continuously clarifying what is important to us. It's very, very important. So every 1 hour you have to decide, every 1 hour, next hour, which is important to me. I have to focus on it. I have to take action on it. I have to work on it. That's very, very important. The second is continuously learning how to see the current reality more clearly. So the current reality is very, very important that. So current reality more clearly, if you can able to observe it, definitely you will be highly successful person in personal life as well as in the professional life. That's very important that, right? Yes. So person mastery must be personal mastery must be a discipline, right? So people with the high levels of personal mastery are more committed, they take more initiatives, they have a broader and deeper sense of responsibility in their work. they are they learn very fast, they are the fast learners. So these are the things If you start working with it, developing the competencies, strengthen your strength, coming towards this personal mastery, you can able to easily observe yourself. You can able to learn anything on first fast. So these are the references I had. The, what are the points so far I discussed, right? So these are the references I made it from these great books, A Good to Great by Jim Collins and Fifth Discipline by Peter Senge. First Break All the Rules will discuss about these differences between the knowledge, skill, talent by Marcus Buckingham and Kurt Kaufman. And Now Discover Your Strength and this Mindset by Carol Dweck and Fix Service Mindset by Jackie Scammell. These are the books I referred. I can tell you. If you want to further more details about that, whatever I discussed so far, you can read this book. The authors then extensive research and lot of live examples they discuss about in their respective books. Please read further if you are interested on that, right? And of course, with this, thank you very much. I'm just conclude that. Any questions, I love to answer these questions, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.